We are live from the Kona Community Pool with the amazing Lucy Charles. Lucy, how you doing?
Yeah, really good, thank you. Just done my swim, so it's good to be at the pool and and have a training day ticked off ahead of the race.
Nice, and it's appropriate to meet her at the pool because we are expecting great things from her from the swim. But first, we will roll our intro. Okay, we are back with super swimmer Lucy Charles. She won Ironman Lanzarote in her first year as a pro?
Second year. Yeah.
Second year as a pro, and she came second at the championship race in Frankfurt, so it's been an amazing year for her. Lucy, how did that feel? Did you expect, when you went to Lanzarote, did you sort of go in thinking, I could win this thing?
I'd raced it the year before and finished third, but I would say the field was a lot stronger this year, so I did not expect to go in and win it. And kind of my other half who coaches me said that he thought I would be able to, and I kind of was saying, you're completely having a laugh, like there's no way. So, I was just really happy to manage to win it.
Right, okay, and so then after that, what was the reaction like back home after you won that first Ironman?
Yeah, everyone at home was pretty shocked and amazed, and the messages after that kind of came flooding in. So I don't think me and Reese even spoke for like 48 hours after the race because there was just so much going on. So it was a bit crazy.
Yeah, that's amazing. We were talking in the car on the way here. You must be one of the younger people in the field. I think you're young enough I can ask you. How old are you?
24.
24. That is young. Do you know if there's anyone younger than you?
I'm not sure. It's probably unlikely, I imagine.
Yeah, I think you're the youngest, and we love that. And we noticed that you have a massive following on Instagram. Do you think that, do you think that you're following, my question was, do you do your own Instagram?
Yeah, I do my own Instagram at the moment, yeah.
Right, that's so cool. And so as a young person, you're going to be at the front of the race, right? And we're hoping to see you first out of the water, up onto the Queen K. How are you going to handle that mentally? Are you sort of ready to lead from the front in the World Championships?
Yeah, I think I'm ready to embrace that. I know there's a few other strong swimmers in there, so it's not going to be easy to get first out of the water. But I'm ready to go for it. And if it means I'm out on that Queen K first, then I'm just going to go with it and embrace it.
Right, and we were talking earlier about how the dynamics of the race are probably going to be a little different this year. You know, you have yourself, Lauren Brandon, and possibly Haley Chura up there. Are you hoping to have other women with you when you come out of the water on the bike, or are you hoping to be by yourself?
I think both could work really, really well. So if there's a pack of us coming out together, then we should be able to work together and hopefully pull away and get a nice gap. If it's just me on my own, then that's cool as well. I'm kind of used to leading out the swim and having kind of just riding on my own. So, I'm used to that as well. So either situation I think I can work with.
Great, amazing. Okay, so this past year you went to Frankfurt, and it was a championship race. It's one of the big races on the Ironman circuit. Again, did you go into it thinking, that you could be on the podium there, or was that another sort of surprise for you?
Yeah, after doing Lanzarote, I kind of thought I'd be in with a shot of qualifying for this race. So that's why I picked the championship race, because I knew the points were going to be pretty good there. But I knew I needed about top 4 to get enough points, and I thought that would be a real struggle. So to actually come away with second place, again, was a little bit of a surprise for me. And all these races have been a great confidence boost this year.
Right, yeah, and I think we all love to see, new, fresh faces, winning races, So we're asking all of our pros this question. Our hashtag is Live Feisty. What makes you feisty?
I think I've pretty much grown up all my life training with the guys, so I do most of my training alongside my other half, Reese, and I find it quite fun to try and chick the guys when I can, so I think that's what makes me feisty. I normally train with the guys and try and get ahead of them.
I love that. Speaking of which, do you think that there's a chance that the women could have, yourself and possibly Lauren, could actually swim faster than the fastest pro man?
Yeah, I think if we work together, then 100% we could beat the guys.
I'm so rooting for that. Okay, and the swim course here, the record is 48:43. Do you think that's a possibility to break that record?
Yeah, I think even when I came here as an age grouper in 2015, I was gunning to try and beat that swim course record. So 2 years later, I'd like to try and give it a go.
Okay, and in 2015, what time did you swim?
52:50 or something like that. Yeah.
Was it a wavy year?
I think so. I think it was quite a slow year.
Right. So maybe we'll have a fast year in that 48. Maybe you could pull that out.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Do we have a question, Ashley? Okay, so anyone at home, if you're watching, you can ask Lucy a question right on the, just type it in below. We're going to roll, we're going to hear, when we come back, we're going to hear an embarrassing story from Lucy and what she thinks created her success. But first, a word from our sponsors.
This is what free shipping feels like when you use code IRONWOMEN at smashfestqueen.com.
Okay, and we're back. So we were just talking during the break about how I stumbled on the social media question. And earlier, Ashley and I had been wondering whether you, how do you balance kind of the work of promoting yourself with being a professional athlete?
Yeah, being a pro athlete is like completely a full-time job. So the social media side of things can take over a little bit. Before I became a triathlete, I actually worked in marketing for a zoo. So I did all the social media for the zoo. So I think that's definitely helped me learn what works on social media and what doesn't. So I'm not kind of questioning myself, should I post that, should I not post that? So I do it all myself, and so far that's been working okay.
Yeah, because it's your voice, right? So do you have any tips for social media? Like, give us a couple of Instagram tips. How do we get more followers?
So you want to keep it fun. I always try and keep it lighthearted and fun. I don't take myself too seriously, so that's a big thing. Keep it fun, keep it interesting. Obviously, hashtags are the winner. So the more hashtags you use, the more people are going to see what you're looking at, and then just interacting with other people and commenting on their stuff and getting involved on social media. That's how it works, really.
Exactly. It's supposed to be social, right? Yeah, cool. Okay. The zoo, what is that?
So I worked at the local zoo that was near me.
Oh, like an actual zoo, like with animals. Oh, I thought it was like some brand of some kind. Okay, okay.
Yeah, so that was pretty cool. Like, I did all of the advertising and marketing for the zoo. I got to feed the animals and go in with the animals as well. So yeah, it was a really cool job. I did that for probably about a year and a half, and learned a lot about marketing and a lot about animals as well.
I'm picturing you with like a camera sneaking into like the tiger cage and taking photos. Is that like a real thing?
Yeah, you're not far off the truth, to be honest. I was never allowed behind the cage, but when we actually sedated one of the lions, I got in there and was right by it, which was pretty cool. He was pretty scared in case it was going to wake up, but it was a really cool job.
That's cool. What zoo was it?
So it was a wildlife park in Hertfordshire in England, so really near where my parents live, and they had white lions. In fact, I think they had the biggest collection of big cats of like any zoo in England, and they're quite a small wildlife park. So yeah, I'm selling it. Go visit it.
Oh yeah, did they have an underwater section in that zoo?
So we had a reptile area, so we had like crocodiles and stuff like that, and the penguins were pretty quick, and some otters as well.
All right. So can Lucy Charles swim faster than an otter? Do you think you can?
I don't know. They were feisty. They were really feisty. They were.
I love otters. I love watching them move, like watching the underwater creatures and feel like there's something to be learned there, especially for non-swimmers,
Yeah, if you can watch how they move through the water, it's pretty impressive. They've got that high elbow catch. Yeah. They have.
That's amazing. What's that? Oh, it's our spirit animal. I love it. Do we have any questions from home? Oh, what is your spirit animal?
I think a lion. So I'm normally called the lioness because if I win a race, I'm normally roaring over the line. I've got a friend called Natasha Pack, and she always called me the lioness. So, yeah.
Okay. Moving to from the swim, you're out on the Queen K, and then you have a run to do. And typically, swimmers who transition usually have, a couple years of niggles or injuries. How have you coped with that, and what are you expecting from the run?
Yeah, so last year I had a pretty bad injury from running, which was a stress fracture in my leg. So that kind of goes in sync with swimmers trying to translate and move over to running, because we've had no impact before. You kind of do struggle with that. Touch wood, this year I've been really lucky and had minimal niggles or anything. So I put in a lot of run training. So hopefully that's going to come through on Saturday.
Okay, let's hear from one of our sponsors. And when we come back, we're going to ask Lucy what makes her successful.
It's tough being green, but somebody's got to do it. And you can too with F2C Farmer Greens. This is what I choose in the morning, every morning before I start my day. And you can support Iron Women Podcast by purchasing F2C online by using the promo code Iron Women.
Okay, so before the break, we were asking about Lucy's transition as a swimmer to triathlon. Is there any strength training that you do specifically for running?
Yeah, so I was actually a personal trainer as well before as a triathlete. So I've got a small gym set up at home. So I do a lot of strength training in there. And I think that's really, really helped with minimalising the run injuries. So I'll do a lot of squats and lunges and all things like that. A lot of weight-bearing exercises that are just getting the muscles stronger and getting your body used to that impact as well. So quite a bit of like plyometric work as well is really, really good for helping with the run. So yeah.
Okay, what are the one or two things that you would recommend that, say, an amateur athlete would do if they're sort of time pressed? What would be 2 exercises for run strengthening?
So 100% squats. They work absolutely everything. So you're getting your legs stronger, you're working your core as well, and core is hugely important. And then so you're getting the whole range, then you're going to want to do some upper body stuff. So I do quite a bit of shoulder work. So just shoulder presses, really. If you can tie that in with a swim session, then that would be great. So
good. Do you do it before or after you swim?
So I'll normally do some shoulder presses on the side of the pool and then get in and do some 100 reps and then get back out and do it again. So if you can get some dumbbells at the pool, then yeah.
Amazing. I'm actually going to try that. What's that? Are we going to squat? We should squat. Okay, we'll watch Lucy do a squat. Here we go. Squat technique.
Okay, squat technique. So you want to get nice and low and you want to stick your bum back and you want to keep your body nice and upright and get that 90-degree angle and then all the way back up. So, yeah, I know. I like it.
Woo, thank you. Amazing, I love it. Okay, so no thank you. So besides squats, what are 3 other things that you think make you successful as a endurance triathlete?
I think I've just got a lot of commitment. I was a swimmer before, so we were up at silly o'clock in the morning to train, and then I'd go off and study, and then I'd be swimming again in the evening. So there's a lot of commitment there, but it's nice now to be mixing 3 sports rather than just the one, so that definitely helps. I'd say something I've really worked on is my nutrition, because I used to just eat whatever the hell I wanted, but now I eat a lot better, a lot healthier, and just make sure I'm getting all the calories I need. And then I think the main thing is that I just have fun with everything I do. So it doesn't feel like a chore training day in, day out. I always make sure there's some fun involved in my sessions.
Right. We hear that a lot. We've heard that a lot this week. We've asked the same question just about absolutely loving what you're doing. And I think that's a really good take-home point for people who want to be successful at anything, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to ask Lucy for an embarrassing story that happened during a race.
Hi, I'm Alyssa Godesky with the Iron Women podcast, and I want to tell you about a special offer with Sound Probiotics. You can get 10% off at soundprobiotics.com using the code IRONWOMEN. Today, tomorrow, the next day, yesterday, all the days, that's available, and it helps support our podcast. So take a look and get some probiotics.
Nutrition question. Okay, we are back. And so we have a question from our studio audience about Lucy's nutrition. So Lucy, tell us a little bit about what you eat during training.
So typically I'm pretty boring like most athletes. I'll have a bowl of porridge in the morning before training. When I'm doing longer swim sets, I'll actually bring some gels down to the pool and have them to get me through. I might even have a banana if I feel like I can stomach that in the morning. And then straight away I'll be getting out having a protein shake and a protein bar when I'm stretching off afterwards. So constantly topping up the calories and making sure the body's never breaking itself down without having something given back.
Right. Yeah, that's really smart. I think a lot of people fail to eat in that sort of 15-minute window right after, and it's really important, right?
Yeah, that's the most important time.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so we're asking everybody about, we've had some really funny stories, but have you ever had something embarrassing happen to you during a race or a training session?
So when I was pretty new to triathlon, which wasn't that long ago, we was doing a brick session where we all biked out on a loop, and then we was doing a run circuit in like this quite busy public woods, which is like a kilometre run round. And we were supposed to do a transition, but I forgot to take my helmet off. So I was running around the woods with my helmet on. There's all dog walkers, and they're just like, what is she doing? And I was just like, oh my God. And then luckily though, because I did it in that training session, it has never yet happened in a race, but it could still happen. So hopefully it won't.
Funny. When did you realize you had your helmet on?
It wasn't until I was getting some really weird looks that I was like, well, what? I thought I had kind of good run form. I don't think I looked that ridiculous. And then I was like, it's still on my head.
That's great. And speaking of training, where do you do most of your training? Where's your home base?
So I live just outside London, and I do most of my training there. So I've got a running club called the Orion Harriers, and I do all of my running pretty much with them. They've got really, really good quality runners, so I'm always being pushed there, which really helps. And then I've just recently joined a swim squad there as well. So I do all of my swimming with some pretty good swimmers. There's a guy there that he is a 1,500 metre swimmer, and he went to the Deaf Olympics, so he is really, really good and pushes me a lot of the time. And then I'm a big one for turboing, so I use Zwift a lot for doing my turbos, which helps because getting out on the road near London is a bit of a nightmare. So it's pretty good that I like training indoors, I think.
Yeah, I've heard that from a few pros that they like the indoor trainer. What do you have a story with that? I mean, is it just because of where you are in London, or are you afraid of the traffic a little bit?
Yeah, so we actually had a traffic accident cycling last year, which really, really kind of made me want to not risk going outside so much. And I do think that you can actually nail the quality indoors. You don't need to go outside to do it. And it saves a lot of time. So it means that you can get more training done, more recovery done. So yeah, and I think because I'm so used to being a swimmer that was just swimming up and down in the lanes, training indoors doesn't really bother me. When you've got something like something you can watch rather than the black line in the pool, anything's more interesting than that, really.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Okay, so are there any questions from home? If you have questions, ask them now, because we're about to sign off. Ashley, any more questions from the studio audience? Oh, there's a slight delay on here. Okay, well, we'll wait for you guys to get caught up. In the meantime, Lucy and I will dance.
This is not one of my skills.
Mine either.
Terrible dancer.
Okay.
Stick to triathlon.
Good call. Good call. We want to thank our sponsors, F2C Nutrition, Coffee Method, Rudy Project, Sound Probiotics, and Smashfest Queen. And you can get discounts from all of them with the code IRONWOMEN. And that is a great way to support us by supporting our sponsors. So thank you so much. Thanks to Lucy for joining us. Lucy, we wish you all the best out there on Saturday.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
And when we're cheering for you, what do you want to hear us say?
Anything, really. Anything will get me going at that point. So, yeah, maybe just go Lucy the Lion or something.
We'll use the spirit animal lion.
Yeah.
Bye.